Hi boys and girls, this is Mrs. Nortman. Let's get ready for today's lesson. You may want to open all of the attachments included with today's materials in your Google Classroom so you have them ready to go. All right, let's get started. You already know that when you have a word with more than one talking vowel or more than one syllable, we sometimes need to cut them up in order to read them. You already know one cutting pattern. You know the vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel cutting pattern. Where do you cut the VCCV cutting pattern? Yep, you cut it between the two consonants. Today, you're going to learn a new cutting pattern. Let's take a look at this first word. Now, I know you probably can read this word, but we're going to pretend that you can't read this word. Just like when we learned about the vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel cutting pattern, your first step is to find your vowels and underline them. And then I'm going to mark those vowels. And the same step two, you swoop between the two vowels and you pull down any consonants in between. Do you see any consonants? Yep, there is one consonant, the B, so I'm going to mark that with a C. We do this to find the cutting pattern. This cutting pattern is vowel, consonant, vowel. This cutting pattern is tricky. It's called a trying pattern because there are two different ways to try to cut up the VCV cutting pattern. Today, we're going to focus on one way to cut up the vowel, consonant, vowel cutting pattern. Whenever you see vowel, consonant, vowel, you're always going to want to first try after the first vowel. So that's what I always want you to remember. First try, first vowel. First. Just a little way to help you remember. So I'm going to try cutting after the first vowel. The next step in working with any cutting pattern is to look at your syllables and decide what type of vowel you have. So we're going to first look at the first syllable of this word. This syllable type, if we take a look at our 7, this is an open syllable. It is one vowel, open at the end of the syllable with nothing closing it in. Now you might say, but Mrs. Nortman, I see a B there. Remember, we cut the word, and when we cut the part of the word off, we act like it's not there, and we actually see that is an open syllable. So what do vowels say in an open syllable? That's right. Vowels make their long name sound in an open syllable. So O is going to say O. Now we look at the next syllable. When I look at the next syllable, I notice that the vowel is closed in by a consonant. If I use my 7 to help me, when a vowel is closed in by one consonant, it is closed syllable and the vowel makes a short sound. Closed syllable, the O is going to make the short sound, so we mark it with a brev. So the O in this syllable is long, it's going to say O. And the O in this syllable is short, it's going to say ah. Now I read syllable by syllable. Ro, bot. Let's sweep it together. Robot. Let's try the next one. Remember, we're going to pretend that we don't know how to read the word. What is our first step when we have a word with more than one talking vowel? Right, we identify the vowels. I see the A, and the O. The next step, swoop between the two vowels and pull down your consonants. I see one consonant. Now we find the cutting pattern. What's our cutting pattern for this word? Our cutting pattern for this word is vowel, consonant, vowel. Where do we cut the vowel, consonant, vowel cutting pattern? Remember we said first try, first vowel. So we first try after the first vowel. Now if I cut after the first vowel, it is now time to decide what syllable types we have and what those vowels are going to say. So let's look at our first syllable. Look at the position of the vowel. Is this vowel closed, R-controlled, open, magic E? Let's take a look at our 7 and see if we can figure it out. This is an open syllable. What is an open syllable going to say? It's going to make its long name sound. So we're going to mark this syllable with a macron, and we know this A is going to say A. Let's look at the second syllable. What kind of syllable type do we have now? Check your 7 if you aren't sure. This O is open. This is an open syllable, so what will the O say in an open syllable? The O will say O in an open syllable. So this syllable says low. Let's read it syllable by syllable. Hey, low, halo. Let's do one more together. Let's see, what's the first step when you come to a word with more than one talking vowel? Yes, you find and mark your vowels. What do you do next? You swoop between the vowels and you bring down the consonants. That's how we find our cutting pattern. What is this cutting pattern? Vowel, consonant, vowel is the cutting pattern. Where do we try to cut this pattern? Yes, we first try after the first vowel. After we cut our word, we check the position of our vowels and decide what that vowel is going to say. Check your 7. What kind of syllable type is this? This is an open syllable. What will the U say in an open syllable? It will make its long sound, so it will say U or oo. Now let's look at our next syllable. What syllable type is this second syllable? Check your 7 if you aren't sure. This I is closed in by a consonant. This is a closed syllable. What does I say in a closed syllable? In a closed syllable, I makes a short sound and says eh. All right, what is our next step? We're going to read it syllable by syllable and then blend it together. So we have music. Okay, so boys and girls, today you learned a new cutting pattern. What is the new cutting pattern that you learned today? Today's new cutting pattern is vowel, consonant, vowel. Say it with me. Vowel, consonant, vowel. Where do we cut our vowel, consonant, vowel cutting pattern? Well, remember, we did say there is more than one way to cut this cutting pattern, but we first try after the first vowel. Where do we try? First try after the first vowel. Say it with me. We first try after the first vowel. So today, you're going to have a list of words to read. Now, everyone getting this lesson may have a different word list. So if yours looks different than the one that I'm showing you, that's okay. Everyone gets what they need. Up at the top, we have our picture here of a robot to remind us that the vowel, consonant, vowel cutting pattern can be cut after the first vowel. And when we cut after that first vowel, oftentimes that vowel is going to be a long sound. Let's take a look. Robot, open syllable. Halo, open syllable. Music, open syllable. When you cut the VCV cutting pattern after the first vowel, it will often have a long sound. Now, don't be tricked. I did say often, not always. And another day, we're going to read some words that don't follow that rule. So back to your word list. Now, remember, with our virtual learning, we do not need to print out anything. But you're going to say, but Mrs. Nortman, how can I do all of that marking up? Just like we learned with vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, we can break words into our syllables using our fingers. For example, we can't write on the screen of our computers, and we can't write usually in books, especially if we borrow them from a teacher or the library. So we can use our finger. So you think to yourself, I see my two vowels. I'll swoop between them. I see vowel, consonant, vowel. I know I will try cutting it first after the first vowel. I would cut it here. I'm going to cover up, find my syllable type, and then find my syllable type and read the word. Now, I'm not going to do that for you because some boys and girls are going to have this list. Remember, if you have any questions, send me a message or send me an email. Have a good day.